Yo, I am just a little bit crazy, if you couldn't tell. My whole life I wanted to try psychoanalysis, or at least once I learned what that was. I have a very symbolic mind, which I mean to say, images, memories, experiences take on a deeper meaning than just the experience or the trauma or the memory itself. I see patterns and symbols and deeper meanings in all things. People might call that crazy. I sort of did at one point, which is why I wanted to enter into psychoanalysis. But I understand now that that is my poetic mind. That is the confluence of my light and my dark. And here's how I learned that. I quit psychoanalysis in a sudden rage of a storm. Let me back up for you. I found a psychoanalyst through a coworker when I worked at the that nonprofit cinema film forum. That's like the intro of it, so I'm just being silly. I used to work at this movie theater called Film Forum in Manhattan, and I had a coworker named Stephanie who told me about a psychoanalyst that she knew because she used to be neighbors with her. In any case, I connected with the analyst and I set up my first appointment, and it was when I was in one of the deepest periods of melancholy, to put it lightly, that I've ever had in my life. This was in the full swing of when I believed that my father had sexually assaulted me. I believe that I have been sexually assaulted by family members in past lives, and I was channeling so much trauma and pain and hurt into this life because I was born to play the role of the poet. Because that is the case, and because I was going through that as I was writing my book, I did not have the tools yet to understand that there is this being that speaks to the world and can channel so much different energy and so much different memory and pain, and my actual material everyday self. The two were so blended, and the two had no distinction whatsoever, which they do need. And though I did not enter into psychoanalysis understanding that about myself, and it's not really something I understood after analysis, it's only something I've come to understand recently. That is something wonderful people can get out of analysis if they have the proper analyst, which I did not. Right away, this woman, this Russian analyst, Russian born, so already you know there's some red flags here. She did not have a proper antenna for where potential patients were. She did not get a grip on how deeply my suffering went and what it looked like for me to be under the spell of my higher self's poetic, flowing energy. She just did not have a grasp on what all of this meant, and how could she whenever I did not either? To make a long story short, I ended up silent. I could not speak. I had session after session after session, and because there was no trust, because I wanted to harm that woman in an indirect way, because I wanted to protect that side of myself, I went completely silent. How did it end? I remembered Herman Melville's Bartleby the Scrivener. In Bartleby, if you know the story, there is an office window that looks out onto a brick wall. And it's out of this window that Bartleby stares all day long, preferring not to do this or that. There was a similar window in the analyst's office. And the day that I quit analysis, I was staring out the window, silent, and I saw that in the top left corner, there was light, rich light, beautiful light, golden. It meant the world. And in the bottom right corner, there was darkness, vile, evil, pure in its way, darkness. The window, and I've always loved windows, held both, light and dark. They coexist. I stood up, frantic, rushed, harried, and I shook the analyst's hand, saying, "Thank you, I have been cured." And I ran from the office. I came home to my apartment. I threw away the things I was using to self-harm. I told my roommate exactly what I was going through. And from that day forward, my life changed. Who can say? Maybe the analysis did work exactly how it was supposed to. Or maybe I scarred that analyst for life, which is alright because she scarred me. That's what humans do. We scar each other, you know. Ultimately, I had to quit psychoanalysis. It wasn't right for me. I thought that the impulses and energies I felt inside myself were wrong somehow, that I needed to be rid of them. Quite the opposite. I had to integrate them into my whole sense of self. I had to understand that Andrew Ty, this being in front of you speaking, consists of that darkness, that terrible pain, and that light, that wonderful sublime. It's only by accepting that these two coexist and that I am the steward of it. I have to take care of it, the material and the spiritual. They have to belong together. It was only by incorporating that into my sense of life, of existence, being, what it means to be human. That is how I was able to move forward, just a smidge, from this cycle of suffering I was trapped on. I think that moment helped me finish my book. It helped me become the artist, the poet, the shaman that I am meant to be. And it helped me become a better everyday person, too. Now that I'm able to have an outlet and understand that I need to channel this great rush of energy I feel into art and creation and communicating, all that sort of thing, it leaves my everyday self more capable of functioning and just being a normal person, as far as somebody like me can be a normal person. My name is Andrew Ty, world famous lunatic, poet, shaman, superstar who quit psychoanalysis in a rage, and I will always love you for whatever that's worth.